About your songwriting, what do you write about?
I write about things that have happened to me. I write from personal experience.
And like this was your first album. You're young, so if you write about the things you do, is it then like the things you've gone through?
Yeah, I write about the way I feel about things and just average shit that a 20-year-old girl would write. You know what I mean?
But if you write about the things you have gone through,
yeah.
We have to wait a while then for your next album?
Oh yeah, well, I need some time off.
Or do you live a vibrant and intense life?
Well, I lead a pretty intense life, but that's just because I never stop working and I get to do music a lot. But I don't know.
Yeah. And where do you get your jazz influence from?
I don't know. Jazz was the first music that I really ever loved. So I don't know. It was the first music that I ever really connected to and could get a lot from. Jazz taught me how to sing. It wasn't at school or whatever. It was just listening to my favourite singers.
Who were you listening to then?
Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, and Minnie Riperton, who was really a jazz singer, but Denise Williams.
Because I read somewhere that was your father's jazz collection that was the first time that you heard jazz?
By the time, are we doing the interview yet?
Yeah, we're talking. Just were the first few questions.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Oh, cool. My dad. By the time my dad moved out, when my dad moved out of my house, I was too young. I was really young, so his music wasn't there. It was just he used to listen to like Sinatra in the car, and that's what I equated my dad with Frank Sinatra. And it was really my brother's music collection. When my brother went to university, he left his stereo and it had a 3 CD changer, and at the time no one had shit with a CD changer, and I was like, oh my god, you can put 3 CDs on and select any song from any of the 3 CDs at random, and he left his music collection, which back then wasn't prolific. He had like 200 CDs, but to me that was it. He had the best shit. He had Thelonious Monk and Bechet and he had all Miles Davis records and and he had other stuff. He had a lot of Hendrix, a lot of Dylan. It was really nice to have him go away and leave me with all his music, because when he lived with me, I'd be like, I'm going to take this album, and he'd be like, no, you're not.
You also took his room then. That's what I did when my brother left me.
Did you?
I took his music also and his room.
I didn't want his room. His room smelled.
It's quite unusual, because I think for a girl that age, it's quite similar like I did. I went like when I was 15 on my bike to jazz concerts. Sitting there with old men drinking wine and smoking a pipe. It was like. And when did you start playing an instrument?
I think I was about 11 when my brother got his first guitar, and I just used to play it whenever he was out the house. Whenever he left the house, I'd grab his guitar, play it, and then when I was about 13, I got my own guitar, and then should I stop?
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, it's a harbour, so.
Ooh.
He's taking it.
Oh, it's action. When I was about 13, I bought my own guitar, and I think around that same age, my brother bought his first proper electric guitar. He had a shit one. He bought like a third-hand Stratocaster, and that was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. And even when he was at the house, I was so scared to play it, because it was one of them things that I thought he'd just be able to tell. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just thought he'll know if I touch this guitar. It's so beautiful. He would just know. So I never did.
Yeah. So you're a Fender girl then?
Yeah, I got and I only have, actually the first acoustic guitar I bought was a Fender. I have a Strat. I have a really pretty Strat. It's Daphne Blue. I can't remember when she was made, but yeah, that's my stage guitar. I don't play in this show now, but that's my stage guitar when I do rock out by myself.
It's a bit like the choice between Pepsi Cola or Coca-Cola, Fender or Gibson, the big struggle, the fights also in a band,
I have a Gibson as well. I have a Gibson 335. They're just sexy guitars, like really sexy guitars, but it's too big, like a Strat is. I don't know, a Gibson was 335 will sound so beautiful and a lot of stuff, but a Strat you can pretty much put anywhere. It's got a sound that's that's just warm, and it just fits into a lot of different musical gaps.
Yeah, I also read somewhere that you say like when I write songs to challenge myself. Can you explain that?
I mean, you know, when I was young and I started writing songs, I would write songs because I was listening to jazz, and the jazz would challenge me. You know, I would learn a lot from it, and I wanted to learn a lot from current music, and there was nothing. You know, there was not much in the way of English artists. You know, but it was a real sparse kind of current music scene for me, you know. So I just started writing songs that I would like to hear, you know, and that's what I do now as well, you know.
And the song Stronger Than Me, what's the song about for you?
Oh, Stronger Than Me I wrote about the second time I split up with this man that I was with. And it was just me. I mean, we had a real explosive kind of relationship, and I never really understood why we had split up. But I think one day I just kind of realised that I was acting like the man and he was acting like the woman, and I was sick of it. He was like 7 years older than me, and I would have to like emotionally carry him around. Not just some of the time, because I'm fine with that, but all the time. So I would just be like, you should be stronger than me because you're my man, you know what I mean?
And where was the challenge in writing that song?
I don't know, that song wasn't really, I mean, it was a challenge in that it was my private life. So it's always hard to dig something out of dig it out of yourself, you know what I mean? It's always hard because it's not just you writing what you think would sound nice, it's you writing about your feelings that sometimes you don't want to admit to. You know, like I won't be honest with myself in my everyday life, but when I sit down and write something down, you know, I'll be brutal, you know, I just say it like it is, because music is the one place where I can do that, and if I didn't have that, then I don't know what I'd do.
But it is very private. If you listen to the album, you know, the whole album is about man-women relations. And how was it then for the first time? If you have written one moment, because I will take my question again. It's English. I'm Dutch. When you write your songs and they're so intimate and private, how did you feel the first time you was doing it live and people were staring at you?
Well, doing it live is you don't really think I'm laying myself on the line. You think these songs are the real me, so I'm putting it out there. It's when I'm doing it live, that's different. But when I do, I mean, I get kind of upset when I do some of the songs live because they're deep. You know, like You Sent Me Flying. When I do it on stage, by the end of it, I'm like in tears. You know, it's about me liking a man who doesn't even know I'm alive. You know, and it always upsets me, that song. But it's probably craziest when I hear the album, because when people play the album, to me that's really personal because that was the songs when I wrote them, you know what I mean? Now when I sing the songs, it's me at a different point in my life looking back, but when I wrote them at the time, when I listen to them, it's harsh.
You still listen to your own album?
No, I don't even have one in my house, but I mean, when do I hear the album? I'll hear the album when I go to record stores to do signings and they put it on and I'm like, can you put something else on please? Because it's weird for me, you know. I'm such a perfectionist that I could not ever listen to my album because I'm such a perfectionist, you know. There's part of me that wants to go back in everyone's house and be like, can I have my album back please? I'll bring this back in 2 months, thank you. You know, there's part of me that wants to do that because I'm a musician. I want to grow with everything and you know. But that's why I'm lucky that I can make music till I'm dead, you know.
But if you go to a record shop for yourself, you also walk a little bit to the section where your own album is and look how many are there, or if they're sold out. No, because you know they never are. So like, there's no point. Or no, I don't really notice that. But it's cool. Like I don't know, it's weird. Yesterday was the funeral of Ray Charles. I believe he was one of the big inspirators for you also. What was it that you...
Yeah, Ray Charles, I remember hearing him when I must have been about 13. And that was I saw the funeral on TV last night and I was just choked. I was just crying and crying. You know, Ray Charles was someone who just did it, man. He just did it. I don't know anyone who had such an affinity with music, such a connection that is so pure, like a connection that a spiritualist will have with God, you know. It was just so pure, you know, and he was doing stuff 60 years before people were doing stuff. You know, and his songs were amazing.
Yeah, a song like Georgia on My Mind. I believe it is the official anthem of the state Georgia. I think that's already for a long time. I think that's great. Every game or something, it's Georgia on My Mind. You know, it's like
it's a tune. It's a tune.
But also, like, you have like this thing. Only one question about other people, but you have this. You mention Ray Charles and other people in your thank you list, but there's also Charles Mingus, and that was something. And I thought, well, okay, Charles Mingus. I mean, that's even for experienced jazz lovers sometimes complicated music. And if I'm thinking about you being younger and listening to Charles Mingus, I find it quite unusual.
Yeah, I mean, what is it about Mingus? I guess complexities, but simple. You know what I mean? He could be busy, but clean. You know, and you know, he never really got that. He never really got recognition for the stuff he wrote, you know, that much. But he was just a wicked player, and just his feeling, really, just his feeling and the way he got it across, you know, was it's a beautiful thing.
Now you play on, you tour a lot. You play probably on more of these kind of festivals. But when I listen to your album, I kind of see you in this small, intimate club.
Yeah, I love to do club gigs. But you know, that's jazz, you know, and now I've got a bigger sound. I have electric guitar and electric bass, and I have a horn section, you know, it translates to a bigger crowd, which is cool, you know. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, if they were, you know, especially, people between 20 and 30, okay, it's getting too cold.
Oh, it's okay. No, I'm adjusted now. I'm used to it.
It's like they probably won't even know that there's a lot of jazz influence, because they probably will see it as a more popular album. I think that's the great thing about your album. It's such a big mix. You know? That's
really kind of you to say. You know, to me, I was trying to do a straight jazz hip hop cross, but you know, I'd like to think it's new. Well, it is new, you know, because I write music that's of my time. I'm not about keeping jazz where it was, you know. I'm not about singing covers. I mean, when I don't have a grasp on reality anymore, or the real world, you know, when I'm older, I mean, you know, and I've had a family and all this, you know, I'll go to Vegas and I'll just sing covers until I'm dead. But for now, you know, it's important to me to be of my time and to write stuff that reflects my time and my attitudes and people who are like-minded, you know, their attitudes. So
I mean, you probably want to keep writing your own songs, I think. So.
Yeah, I just want to write until there's no more songs left in me.
And then go to Vegas.
Yeah, and then go to Vegas.
Do you think there's a revival then for like more jazz-based music? If you look, especially from England now, you, Jamie Cullum, I mean, young people with...
yeah, I think, you know...
It's different, completely different, I think, your music.
It's good, yeah, it's good because it opens the doors for not real music, but it's hard because, you know, I'm a songwriter, I'm not a singer, you know, I try and be different. I don't try and be the best singer in the world, you know, and that's what drives me. But I don't know how to say it and be diplomatic at the same time, you know what I mean? It's like...
Okay, last question. Sweet and sour.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, when I was about 10, me and my best friend Juliet loved salt and pepper. We loved salt and pepper, and we used to have rap battles when we used to go away with school for a week. We used to sit, we used to bunk off like the activity. We used to go and sit and like battle the whole Salt and Pepper album down. The whole Salt and Pepper album would be there like, no, that's better than me. Ha, you fucked up. No, that's ha, like that. The whole thing, like we just did the whole thing. And and then I think we just wanted to do a band. And yeah, it was a bit close to home, Sweet and Sour, Salt and Pepper, but we loved them, man. We even had a tune called Spinderella, like after their DJ, because we loved them. You know, when I was a kid, when I was young, there was like Kylie and Madonna, and they're cool. You know, Madonna's cool. She was very outspoken about her sexuality, and that's cool. You know, I like to see strong women like that. But Salt and Pepper were like, when I got a bit older, they were real girls. They were like women. They were like real women, like that you would aspire to be like, and you know, strong women who would never put themselves in a kind of vulnerable role. You know, their music was their life. You know, is their life. I don't know, but
I think we have to talk about Esther now. Eh? Madonna changed her name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I believe last night at 4 o'clock at ABC, at a television program, she officially announced that she's called Esther now.
Cool. My grandma's called Esther, but my grandma doesn't even like her name. My grandma calls herself Stella. I don't know why.
Okay, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Have a very good gig tonight, and well, we'll be watching and filming. So.
Cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.